A facelift for one of the Toyota bestsellers. This is the Toyota Corolla Cross, a very popular compact SUV being built and sold worldwide indeed. And this is also the very first time this one here gets a GR Sport version. We're showing you the normal and the GR Sport version here with Thomas Nautogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. As I said here, GR Sport with the badge and the honeycomb front grille. This looks pretty cool, and also updated front lamps, also now with adaptive high beam, and they're also really stretched quite wide. So it looks actually quite rugged, although it's not that long. See, at 4 meters 46 or 176 inches, this is of course unchanged. The GR Sport gets a 10mm lower and stiffer suspension, and you can also then have these 19-inch black wheels for the GR Sport. But there are also new 18-inch normal wheels available, for example, rugged wheel arches and this typical Corolla Cross look in the side profile with a nice imprinting here on the top part. So they took the Corolla name because it's a very famous name worldwide, of course, and then made an SUV. But of course, it doesn't have so much to do with the normal Corolla. Technology-wise, of course, they share a lot, but this is a totally standalone model, as you can very obviously see. Front drive or all-wheel drive models are available, soon more to the engines. Towards the rear, also with updates with new tail lamps here, for example. This one here being the HEV model, the built-in hybrid, and as a GR Sport, once again, the high gloss black as a contrast in lower part and a blacked out Toyota logo right here. Also GR Sport interior changes are coming up, but what's counting for all of the Corolla Cross facelift models is that you have an improved sound deadening, so like NVH has been improved. So for example, that less noise from the outside gets to the inside with the sills and so on, and dampening materials at the inside of the doors. And high grades like this one, like the GR Sport, also gets a 3-layer damper like in the dashboard, you know, that the noise is not coming from here to the inside of the cabin. This will be very interesting while driving later on. And here we have the normal facelifted Corolla Cross. Very interesting because first of all, we also have this honeycomb design here in the front grille, but more in the vehicle color, but already looks sporty, although it's not the GR Sport. And here, this was all the way blacked out in the GR Sport, but the normal trim here gets this new daytime running light together with the new sides here. So this looks pretty cool, right? So in a way, as for the illumination side, the non-GR Sport even looks a little bit cooler, doesn't it? Here at the side we have 18-inch wheels, and in the brighter design, or somewhat also here the dual tone scheme. Then here the wheel arches are matte then, so this also then a different look. But overall I think it works very well. Also here with the chrome contrast on the top part, where I have the embossed logo here as well. And towards the rear, same new tail lamps, but then the lower part is different because here then you have once again the vehicle color in the very bottom part, and here a little bit more rugged look. Which one do you like better, GR Sport or here the normal look? Under the hood, 1.8-liter 4-cylinder hybrid or the 2-liter 4-cylinder hybrid. So here's no engine cover. This is like for the studio here, that the car doesn't die on us here with the battery. Here you need that stick here to keep it opened. You can as well also close it. So the like the slower or weaker hybrid has 140 horsepower front-wheel drive. The stronger hybrid, the 2-liter hybrid, has 200 horsepower and then front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and 7.6 seconds is the best acceleration figure then for the 200 horsepower version. Outside of Europe, so here only in this hybrid, outside of Europe they will also sell these engines as non-hybrids, and it's being produced for Europe in Japan actually, and there are different plans worldwide because there are so many different countries and markets where the Corolla Cross is being sold, and then it's also built in these respective plants, for example in the US in Alabama. This is here the key fob and door closing sounds. Is, I would say, okay, nothing special. Yeah. I think it works. And inside of the doors, this is here somewhat soft touch in the front at least, nice covering. And here could be a little bit softer for your elbow indeed, basic controls here, and also rugged at the inside of the doors. Welcome to this updated cockpit, 10.5 infotainment here on the right side, 12.3 digital instruments. And then here you have a nice covering for the dashboard, and this trim then here looks good, feels good as well. Glove box here also properly dampened. Good is that here you still have the climate knobs here, the manual ones to turn. They also sound quite nice. So here There we go, temperature changes and also the fan speed and so on, and the volume buttons on the screen here that you can still control something manual, not everything in the screen here. There's like a visualization for the energy flow. The software itself is, let's say, very basic. And then the middle console with a pretty cool GR Sport shifting lever. I mean, for such a compact SUV, that looks massive, this shifting lever here, but pretty cool. Then here, drive mode selector. For the 2-liter hybrid engine, you will also get a new snow mode, by the way. Then here, inductive charging pad, left side, but doesn't seem ventilated. Right side only to put another smartphone. I love these seat heating buttons. It's like in an airplane or something. Listen to that, pretty cool. Cup holders not adaptive, and then here armrest should be softer underneath, and here this also just folds down, some space on the inside, and GR Sport steering wheel, because first time here the GR Sport trim, red contrast stitches on the inside and rear buttons on the steering wheel, and of course now to the highlight, the GR Sport seats with an integrated head restraint styling, but you see they're still somewhat separated for real. They only look integrated when it's like this. Microfiber on the inside, the red accentuations on the outside, red contrast stitches. They look pretty cool. They're also really massive. And at the same time, they are very comfortable. So they bring sportiness, at the same time comfort here also to this interior. So also as a tall adult, 189, 6'2", very good seating comfort and also side support when you're in the corners and so on. Here some headroom left with 189, 6'2", and this then here, this glass roof. You could also apply this shade there. Look at that, it comes from the rear, and then it can cover all areas basically. There's a split then in between, but it's not that we could open the glass roof. And one more look here at the steering wheel with the real buttons and so on. And these are the digital instruments, full digital now. In some countries there might be versions with analog still, but Europe at least gets these digital instruments. Rear seats, yeah, more base rugged materials here throughout the door. However, in the GR Sport version, also rear seats with a nice microfiber insert, and then the leatherette here. Isofix outside each. These are separate clips. You have to remove them and then store them somewhere, however. Then here, for the cup holders, they are not adaptive though. So let's say like a more base quality here. And then you can see here more upright for the cargo position or more laid back. And the space we have here, so for the headroom, this is close with 189, 6'2". This one, the one with the panoramic roof. So here you can see it's a split, but then you can also apply a shade. And the legroom does exactly fit for tall adults. When I'm also driving as a tall adult, these here you can see the more voluminous GR Sport seats. So yeah, we can check it out if the base seats deliver a little bit more space as for the legroom. Although this is an SUV, in the rear you sit relatively low for an SUV in the rear, gotta say. Trunk or boot, let's check it out. Check it out, y'all. Then here, cover, no rails on the sides. And here this one also fits vertically underneath. It's 1 meter or 40 inches in width. The length here is about 85 centimeters or 33 inches, and the height is here at 76 centimeters or 30 inches, well usable. Underneath you can see there could also be a spare tire then, depending on the version. JBL sound system here, the subwoofer in the rear, you can see it right here. And then we have to fold the seats like this and this. I'm gonna fold up, then you can check it out. This is like a kind of massive step here, definitely. But then again, you have more trunk height for that. And here the total length is at 66 inches or 1 meter 70. And here the cargo position like this. And then I have more space right here. Non-GR Sport interior, main difference is of course the seats. The GR Sport seats look pretty much cooler, definitely. And the base would be fabric seats. When you have the slick surface here, it's like a mix, as far as I know, of animal leather and artificial leather. And the GR Sport, as I said, with a nice microfiber. So the interior I like best with the GR Sport. The base trims, however, then as I said, fabric seats, because the Corolla Cross worldwide is also sold a lot in the low trim specs, especially for example, Northern American market. You have very accessible models, whereas in Europe, rather the high specs are being sold only, but then also at higher prices. And here I did find the fabric seats with the Corolla Cross, and they look actually quite nice. They're also softer than, you know, than the thick surface. The microfiber seats are also very comfortable. So and they also have, like, let's say, a similar form. So even they have, as a base seat, have a kind of sporty form. So I can also recommend these fabric seats here. So would you go here for the GR Sport version or a normal Corolla Cross? Tell me in the comments. I think from the exterior it works very, very well. Then on the interior, also some nice upgrades. I'm really looking forward to the sound deadening improvements, because one of my criticism points was, yes, Toyota is always with the best reliability as for how the engines hold up and so on. But when you drive them quicker, for example, on German Autobahn, then they tend to be quite loud. So I'm really looking forward if the sound deadening measures now have improved that. If you want to check out the pre-facelift version, we have a driving review of that one, or you maybe want to check out some other Toyota SUVs.